And we're back. We're back because you know what it's all about, man. It's about keeping Lace Torch alive. And we can't do that without going at Connor Murphy's head top. He's fallen all the way off since taking a man's life, since removing somebody off this planet over jealousy, disdain, envy, rage, murderous ideations that he had already previously had. Yeah. You don't believe that it was Connor Murphy who did this, right? Take a look at Turkey Tom's documentary. And if you didn't catch it when you watched the Connor Murphy doc, understand that this was inevitably going to happen. Connor was going to do this to somebody, anybody. It just happened to be Lath. It just happened to be Leo and longevity. Yeah, you see this video right here? 1.1 million views. This was the nail in Connor Murphy. Oops. I meant Michael Murphy. Oops. I mean, Michael Murphy does golf. Oops. Connor. You got the song here that I had to bleep out. The devil is a lie. How can that be true when you were God? Oh, man. Yeah, this first comment says it all. Bro's fall off is immaculate. Isn't he the killer, Leo? The only thing that I will give to this man is that he doesn't delete the truthful comments. He doesn't delete the truth. I mean, Connor Murphy, the news reporter, he doesn't even create his own content now. He basically reports on other people's drama and news and whatever's in the news cycle. He's just a bare bones journalist now. All his content is gone. He's a poetic Flacco. He just covers what other people are doing.
Greg Doucette could be suing a poor college YouTuber for accusing his protege, Hussein Farhat, of being a fake natty, according to the Instagram comments. So where did this accusation come from? Well, if we head over to the brand new YouTube channel known as Anabolic Stick, we'll find a video titled Greg Doucette and Hussein Farhat Need to Be Stopped. And pinned in the comment section is none other than Coach Greg himself, just giving some friendly advice, letting Anabolic Stick know that deliberately lying could be considered libel.
Wait, hold on. This is what you've been reduced to, Connor Murphy. Okay, you have no content left. You shouldn't have done what you did out in Pattaya, buddy. You have no content left, and you're literally reduced down to doing content on Greg Doucette, and Greg Doucette's over here talking about lying, and somebody lying when Greg Doucette is a cheater and a liar himself. He cannot even cycle. I would not do content on Greg Doucette until he serves his 11-year cycling ban. He cheated not once in professional cycling, but twice. And they said, bro, get out of the sport for a decade. Greg Doucette is a cheater, a liar. He's scum. Look at this. Nobody talks about this. Nobody does. But this is why Greg races on Zwift and he doesn't race competitively. None of these guys would be able to compete in the pros. You wouldn't be able to go throw a baseball with me. You wouldn't be able to go and put pads on and hit with me. You wouldn't be able to actually clip up and race Greg Doucette because you guys are all doping. It's illegal to dope and do sports, guys. And look what Greg did. He refused to give a sample because he no longer is clean. Okay, he got 8 years for the cycling and then another 3 when he tried to bring things in from Canada. That's 11. Man, stop this. Oh, in Greg's defense, the athlete argued that he did not read the parts of the BNS license agreement which stated he would be agreeing to subject to CAPD regulations and testing. So you really just thought you could roid? You thought this was a bodybuilding competition? Like, oh, well, I'm actually entering the open category. There is no open category for sports, buddy. You either dope or you don't dope and you get caught, or you are a clean athlete. That's why these guys' methodology is skewed, guys. All of it is. Oh, against the length of suspension, Doucette argued that he did not intend to cheat and that the length of 8-year ban is unfair. See, he can't even fess up to what he did. You roided, buddy. So, you were a liar, man. And that's just off a side tangent. He has the same methodology as you, Tony Huge, and everybody else, which is another day natty is another day wasted. Well, guess what? When you compete in professional sports, you gotta be natty. So you're doing content on a liar. That's what you've been reduced to, okay? And guess what? I will wrestle you. And with my left hand, Conor Murphy, I will beat you in arm wrestling. And I am natural. I'm all natural. I'll put $100,000 on it. I wouldn't put 100,000 on it, but I put 10,000 on it. You know, that I would beat you in arm wrestling. You know what I'm saying? It's all about willpower. It's about your daily habits. It's, you know, there are some pharmaceuticals that can help you with your hair, your skin, your nails, you know, erectile dysfunction. There are certain things, and I will give Tony Hughes this. For his age, he looks great. Okay. But Conor, you are a biohacking genius, right? Well, why are you looking a little rough around the edges, buddy? It's because Lace-Omen is still haunting you to this day. Okay, so not only are you doing it on this channel, but you got your story.
Could be suing a poor.
Look at that. This is all this guy's been reduced to. You have nothing left. You have no content left. Nothing. Okay, and if we want to go to your protege, your god, which is Tony Hughes.
So Conor's doing his natty stack transformation, where he's using all the most powerful natty supplements to transform his physique as fast as possible. So he's finally going to be releasing the video within the next week on his channel, exactly what he's taking and what effects it's having.
This is your god, right?
I mean, was just let his divine protein shake all over the mirror.
Can't let it go to waste.
February 6th. Did you see when that came out? Look at this.
Protein shake all over the mirror.
Can't let it go to waste.
Now, would you look at this? I'm screaming when I make these videos, guys, and I'm sorry for screaming throughout the whole video. I'm screaming at y'all for 30 minutes. This shit pisses me off. I'm the only one that's bringing this kind of content about Leo and longevity to the masses, to YouTube, and putting these pieces together. This is 5 days, 6 days after they murder the guy. They're making jokes about semen on a fucking mirror. Tony Hughes has something to do with this, and Conor Murphy. They're literally making jokes 6 days after they murder the guy. Come on, man.
Unnatural. And I'm really excited to hop on this. Get ready for an epic YouTube video coming soon.
Check this out. Greg Doucette just posted a video on Conor Murphy.
Look at that.
So we're watching it.
You see who that's it? Do you see who it is back there? Do you see who's back there? Looking all rough and shit.
Just posted a video.
Look at that, guys. Look. This is now 10 days after they murder Leo and longevity. Lath. Guess who's bumming it in the house because he don't know where to go. They gotta lay low. Straight fucking Cody chilling in the house. They're all hauled up in a different house that Tony Hughes has. He could go get another Airbnb and they can skip town and say, oh, we have a drug dealer that's looking for us. No, you guys murdered the guy and now all you guys gotta chill together until everything blows over. That's straight Cody, man.
On Conor Murphy. So we're watching it.
Who else is back there?
Conor's
Hold on.
watching.
Who else is back there? This is investigative journalism, guys. We need to know everybody that they're with. We need to know.
Greg Doucette just posted a video on Conor Murphy. So we're watching.
Oh, it's Foxy and who else? We need to know everybody that they're with.
The video on Conor Murphy. So
That's Foxy.
we're watching it. Conor's watching Doucette's video on Conor right now. Wow. Cool.
Like, life just goes on, man. Fuck this shit, bruh.
So we're getting Conor some more lab work, ongoing experiments. We're doing the natty transformation and seeing how the natty stack affects his blood work, because some of the natty stuff he's using is actually quite powerful. All right, we're here to wake up Jenny, baby mama 2, and
Look at this. Look, guys. Look. This is a rabbit hole I wasn't even going to go down, but this video popped up and I want to start covering a little bit more and kind of going back through the nuance of everything. This is now 11 days after they murder the man and they've skipped town and it's just a reason for me to go see baby mama number 2 out in Bangkok, I believe, or it's in a different facet, but in the same area, but not in Pattaya because Pattaya is way too hot. They just murdered a man. So Tony Huge can go see one of his 8 baby moms. Like, this is crazy. Tony Huge, you are at the head of the cabal. You were the one that organized everything. You were the one with the financial assets and the one that can make the biggest power moves. And you covered this up. BJ Hughes, I want you to know that, yes, sir, you, sir, have nailed the head right there. You nailed it. Boom, 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 boom. None of this would have been possible if it weren't for Tony Hughes. Taking your alpha GPC and then taking all these plethora of supplements to get you back to baseline, that is not biohacking. Okay? Ask Joe Aesthetics what happened after he followed Tony Hughes' protocols and he wanted to follow down Tony Hughes' footsteps and he wanted to try a little bit of biohacking. I outlived Joe Aesthetics. To me, that's sad. So we need to pump the brakes a little bit. Kenosis? You murderer? Let's see what
Greg
you got
Doucette
going
could
on.
be suing a poor
Like,
college.
look at this, man. This is sad, brother. This is sad. You ain't got no content left because Turkey Tom buried ya. But this was the nail in the coffin. When he saw this video, he knew his social media imprint, his footprint, his presence on the net was over. It was gone. A 2-hour doc with a guy as notable as Turkey Tom, it's over. It was over for him. So if you guys didn't watch this,
Connor Murphy took himself from a socially inept nerd to one of the most successful fitness influencers on YouTube.
I'm going to be talking.
yeah, but he ruined it all, didn't he, Con? Didn't he, Con Man? You know, you'll watch my videos and I like talking directly to you in my videos. It's something different from all these other creators. I do something different. I talk to the actual individual themselves. You know, it hits home once they finally watch the video. And I want to roll through and show you guys something that was very, very telling. Okay? Very telling. Turkey Tom does a great job. We've been doing our own due diligence, but he does a great job and he brings up something that is very, very telling.
Everything he wanted as a teenager, and also points out that it brought him no joy. At which point he proceeds to blame his parents.
My parents have sucked away every ounce of happiness in my body. I've done everything just to please them, just to make them proud, just to make them happy, and it didn't work.
Guys, this is not an act. This is not a play. This is not Connor Murphy, Andy Harshman, his little minions in his cult that he's coerced to believe that this is the truth. No, he actually wants his parents' acceptance. And this is not acting, because I felt this way before too. We all want our parents' acceptance. We all want to make our mom and dad proud, you know, before their lives expire and ours continue on. Okay, so I think one of his methodologies is that, oh, I'm embarrassed about these actual emotions that I feel, and so I'm going to create this facade and run with it. And so he did. But the individual event that happened with his family was a very, very nuanced, stigmatic event, traumatizing event. One of the most traumatizing events that happened in Connor Murphy's lives. And Turkey Tom touched on it. And when I heard this,
They ruined my sister.
when I heard this, it put all the pieces with the pieces of the murder of Leo and longevity all together.
His car had gone missing. Fortunately, the worst had not happened, and it turned out that Connor had been sent to a psychiatric facility. In the excerpt of his admission papers we have access to, we can read, "Patient demonstrates a marked alteration in his mental state compared with..."
Yeah, so guys, he actually went insane, was ashamed, was embarrassed, and then said, oh, this is all an act of play, and this is not really me, when these are the real emotions that come out. You want to see another example of this? Another example of this, oh, this is all an act of play, was basically when Connor went manic with the golf club. He basically pinned it on the girl, and then they reenacted the videos on the Kenosis channel, right? And when this happened,
after receiving reports from neighbors of a foreign man behaving erratically and injuring a Thai woman. Upon arrival, officers discovered that a man later...
yeah, and John Bravo, you are scum. You are Tony Hughes' little minion. He's got his nutsack dangling off of that perfect mohawk after 3 or 4 hair transplants. Tony Hughes has his nutsack dangling off of your head, sir. Because guess what? Not only can you not report on this interaction correctly, but you botched the Leo and Longevity coverage because you had to protect your boy, Tony Hughes. Not only did he whack the Thai girl with the golf club, he whacked the sister with the knife in the golf club. But if we actually go to the Thai press release, and I'll put the excerpt here, and we translate it from Thai to English, he actually whacks the grandma and the grandfather that are next door as well with the 5-iron club. But John Bravo doesn't want to mention that. John Bravo only gives you enough information to create a video that can get 100,000 views. John Bravo is part of the cabal.
Publicly identified by police as 30-year-old American fitness...
Yeah, so he wanted to create this facade that, oh, this was all on purpose. Okay? But as we go back to this video here...
What if Connor Murphy did once have the biggest social media following in the world? What if it was more than that? What if, again, this is acting, Connor Murphy was so egotistical that he wanted to become God?
Man, stop this. Stop this. This is him scrambling for the root cause of his actions. Like, Connor, we know what's up. When he's in this headscarf era, this COVID era, when he went crazy, when he's using the N-word and singing songs with the N-word in it, this is primo Connor Murphy content right here. This is primo Connor Murphy content. I have him fingering the sex doll. I have him going crazy. I have him balls deep in an ayahuasca trip. Like, we have him balls deep on this crime. But this was glanced over, guys. This was glanced over. And no one really mentioned it. But when we correlate these facts, you're going to understand that he was going to do this regardless.
Are your friends trying to... He then tries to enlighten his best friend, Brett Maverick, but this goes even worse in comparison because Brett sits there stone-faced for nearly an hour, giving almost no input back to Connor.
And that is, if you really work around that logic, somehow we thought that logic is a disease of the ego, but it's not. The ego is something completely different than we have ever imagined. And it just has to slowly be unraveled. Recognizing the ego as thought is a step. That's what you realize, is that the enlightenment process is realizing truth in the moment, but then at a later level realizing that it was fake.
If you speed it up, it
Man,
kind of
stop this. You didn't have no ego death. You took the wrong drug to have an ego death. And if we go to Connor's page, his dead channel, his channel is dead. His channel is... Wait, his channel, he's not even... You're not even the first... You're not even the first channel that comes up when I search your name in your channel. That's how far this man has fallen off. That's how far he's fallen off. And he wants to talk about losing his ego, right? But the last 2 videos that he's posted have his shirt off and him getting rubbed down by Tony Hughes' bitch. The same bitch that if we go on Instagram and we go on Shorty's story, she's pregnant with Tony Hughes' child. So it's all coming full circle. BJ Hughes, I want you to know, you are correct. This is the cleanest. This is the most precise. This will be, if this happens to go down as an unsolved crime, this will be the cleanest cover-up of a murder in a house in Pattaya, Thailand, with a clandestine group of individuals that are pumping supplements and SARMs and androgen receptor modulators. It will go down in history as the best cover-up to a murder that's ever happened. But these videos relight his torch BJ Hughes, we are not going to let Tony Hughes off the hook for these crimes. We are not letting Connor Murphy off the hook for these crimes. We are not letting Straight Cody off the hook for these crimes. We are not letting Adam Judd off the hook for these crimes. We are not letting Johnny Bravo, the man who's got Tony Hughes' nutsack on his head, we're not going to let him get away with these crimes. But if you look there on the stomach, do you remember, and on the back, there were precise tattoos that were on the woman's body that Laith has sex with. Do you remember that? Do you believe that that sex worker that had the supposed photos on the phone, that was maybe even planted by Tony Hughes and the cabal to throw all of us off even further? That the sex worker, the last individual that he was with, those pictures were random. Those pictures were actually probably taken by the killers when they grabbed the phone and accidentally took photos. Those weren't even taken by Laith. So this individual knows that's bringing a child into this world had a hand in actually taking a life off of this world and off of this planet. It is the cycle of life. But we have to remember the things that happened. Laith didn't deserve to die.
Promising that he would never take another mind-altering substance like that ever again. He also reveals a little more about his inpatient stay, showing that he'd been diagnosed with either drug-induced psychosis or bipolar disorder. However lucid he appears in this video, he reiterated that all of that happened for a greater purpose and that he'd seen through the illusion of death.
The past few weeks have been some of the most self-improvement focused weeks of my entire life. I've had some extremely eye-opening spiritual experiences that have changed my life for the better. I can honestly say that I'm completely free from the illusion of death and that I've been able to fill in some of the gaps between science and religion that I've had in my head. I've even been able to completely rid myself of insecurities.
Whoa. I'm not a psychologist, but we are going to peel back certain layers of this onion. Can you understand now that how Connor Murphy actually sees the world after these ayahuasca trips and these mega doses that Leo in Longevity himself said that you will wreck your brain if you continue to do so, or you actually do these mega doses for these long periods of time, you will wreck your brain and you will not be able to come back from. He said that he came back through the illusion of death. So can you see now how Connor Murphy would be the perfect person to enact this crime? Because killing Leo in Longevity it's just an illusion of death. He doesn't even believe that he's dead. He created a video in the bathroom hinting at a psychedelic trip. So did he come full circle again? And is the ritual of killing Leo in Longevity just an illusion of death that he can break free from again? Leo in Longevity was right. Connor Murphy has permanently wrecked his brain.
Documents this experiment of his. He repeatedly emphasizes that the substances he's doing are completely legal and that he's not recommending that other people do it. However, in every other sentence, he makes sure to tell people that what he's doing is the one and only way to see the absolute truth and reach true bliss, which sounds a lot like promoting something that, even if legal, is very dangerous.
So your mind is very conflicted. You have these conflicting views on reality that cause you to suffer, and so this is your mind right now, okay? Now, what psychedelics do, okay, they're going to start rearranging the puzzle pieces, okay, like this. And certain psychedelics, definitely like ayahuasca and psilocybin, they're going to rearrange the puzzle pieces in a order that is closer to the finished puzzle, you could say.
The end of the
Finally, Connor Murphy uses an analogy and got it right. The only difference is, Connor, your brain is that puzzle, that 1,000-piece puzzle, when you jumble it all up. That is you now. You have wrecked your brain to the point where the puzzle pieces, you don't even know if it's for the same puzzle. You don't even know what the puzzle is about. You don't know what the picture is. You don't see the box. Connor Murphy is now to the point where he doesn't even know what a puzzle is.
something that he called tantric premasati yoga with random girls. To put this in simple terms, he basically stopped doing sexually suggestive shirtless prank videos and started doing extremely sexually suggestive yoga with strangers on the street. He also opened up an OnlyFans account, which he promoted in most of his uploads.
All right, yeah, we're gonna stop here. And I'm like, you know what? We're already down the rabbit hole. You know, I've already brought to the table how, you know, Connor used the sex doll that was pretty much a spitting image of Lucy to mock Leo and longevity, the milk. We all know about that, right? And this was before the killing of Leif. I mean, to be honest, let's just go back for a second here. He had a chance with
alternative health oriented channel. That hope was now completely
she was kind of cool right there.
Tantric premasati yoga.
He was over here bagging shorties, like over here looking like a native Ashanti right here. You feel me? He went from that to committing the worst crime known to man and selling himself for money. And it gets worse, guys, because I was going to bring the OnlyFans to you to see what he's been up to lately. I couldn't find that one. I think he got rid of it. But look what he's been doing. Look at it. Look at this. Gay for fans. Showing my muscles and yanking. And then journaling on my bed. Like, this is how bad the money's gotten. And it's only going to get worse, pal. It's only going to get worse. I'm not clicking none of this. I'm not clicking none of this. You feel me? But what I can say is that the fall off, this isn't even rock bottom for you, Connor. Rock bottom is when you are in a jail cell. A cold, hard cell.
And protein shake all over the mirror.
Hey, Tony Hughes. Yeah, you let Connor Murphy put some of that divine protein shake all over your face? Huh?
Can't let it go to waste.
I know you did it for the content. Tony, did you take the divine protein shake all over your face?
Jim, and they're happy ending massage? Yeah. Exciting day for you. Hey, honey, are you ready for your happy ending massage today?
Yeah. Did you let Connor Murphy put some of that divine protein shake all over your baby mom? Look what these fuckers will do for content. Look what they'll do for content. You let Connor Murphy put his divine protein shake all over your baby mama's face, Tony Hughes, for a couple cents and a couple nickels that you could rub together. These guys are embarrassing. And they'll put anything online because we can modify it and manufacture whatever we want, just like Tony Hughes does with Jon Bravo and the Leo and longevity case.
Shocked. About an hour ago, I got the news that Leo is gone. He died in Thailand this morning. In his room, he was found dead, with blood coming out from his nose and his mouth, and his room was locked in. I'm caught for words because I'm shocked. I just found out about this a few minutes ago. It happened, you guys know, he was my friend. We had a falling out. But even when I have a falling out with somebody, they're still always my friend. In fact, it was crazy because just last night, I had texted Tony Hughes in Thailand and I asked him how Leo.
Jon Bravo. Just for shits. Because there's no giggling going on here. This isn't a Wes Watson video. You know how you be breaking down Wes Watson, Jon Bravo? I be breaking down you just like that. But we're not laughing. This ain't about no alpha male. This is about a murder. Yeah, I'm gonna break down the first video you made on Leo and longevity. I'm seeing a few anomalies. Like, you had a falling out with the guy, but coincidentally, you hit up Tony about Leo? What? No, you didn't. You didn't do that, Jon Bravo. You didn't do that. So the cabal and this storyline happened before you even brought it to the masses, Jon Bravo. Okay? That's how we logically deduce facts. What we can logically deduce from this conversation, 624, you were colluding with Tony Hughes about how you're going to play this before You even brought it to the masses. So you're not shocked. You're not, no. You were coercing with the murderers about how you're going to frame the narrative before you brought it to the masses. So just like Ennis from SwissChems.is, how those text messages were fabricated like Lath's dead when he had been laying on the floor for God knows how long, probably days, while Straight Cody, Tony Huge, Connor Murphy, they all went shooting. You know, Ennis was the one that texted, not Tony Huge. You did the same thing with Jon Bravo and Tony Huge. They're corresponding with fake text message threads about I checked up on Leo and then you told me that he passed away. Are you serious? There's no way. I'm a mathematician, so the probability of this actually happening is zilch. It's pretty much zilch. So right out the gate, you lied to us, Jon Bravo.
And Tony said he's going to check on him. And
wait, what? Oh my God. Jon Bravo, you have just implicated yourself in the murder of Leo and longevity. So Tony Huge actually told you to text me, and then I'm going to text you and say, oh, I'm going to go over to the house and I'm going to go look for him. Did we just break a little nugget in the case? I think we just did. Jon Bravo, you are implicated in the murder of Leo and longevity. You really think this was going to fly? That you were the one that tipped off Tony Huge to go look at his own house to see if his roommate was dead? Stop this.
But, you know, I don't know why I did that yesterday, but because I haven't in a long time. And I'm going to read the article that just came out from Pattaya, Thailand.
Wow.
On the death of Leo.
Look at him.
I'm just really
Look at him
shocked.
stumbling all over his words. He's stumbling. Guys, this is huge. And I was just going to go and react to it, but this right here is exactly what happened. Tony Huge put you up to this, huh, John? This is going to be bigger than any Wes Watson video you ever made. I can tell you that right now. Guys, this is why in my prior videos, I had to use the conversion of the time between Pattaya and the US, because once again, we have a situation where this video came out on January 30th of 2023, right? And so if he said, oh, I text Tony Huge out of the blue and it said 6:30 p.m., that would obviously be, if we can logically deduce facts, the 29th in US time at 6:30 p.m. Okay? So what could we do? We could go and we could do the math. Let's do the math. If Jon Bravo in New York texts Tony on the 29th and said, hey, how's Lath? Have you checked on him? Tony's going to get that text at 6:30 a.m. on the 30th, okay? So this lines up the timetable perfectly. We have them locked into the time now. So Tony supposedly didn't know and was going to go check at the house. They have until 6:30 a.m. And now if we go back to the article, it says 8:30 p.m. on the 30th in Pattaya. So what can we logically deduce? He had 6:30, 7:30, 8:30. They had 14 hours for Tony to go supposedly check on Lath at the spot based on this timeline. Okay? But they had already gone shooting and came back. He was already gone. That's why the forensic report from the pathologist, the blood was coagulated, the body was heavy rigor mortis, heavy decomposition states. They couldn't even do it. So it had already been 3.5 days plus 14 hours that Tony was supposedly going to go check on Lath. This is crazy, man. This is wild, bro. This is wild. So, you know, they're lying. That's all I can tell you guys is they're lying. But we can lock in timetables from when they're saying this happened and this happened, so it was 6:30 a.m. I'm going to go check on, where were you? What? What the hell?
Additionally, the other occupants of the home will be brought to the Pattaya police station for further interviews and discussion about the situation, which I believe that he lived in a home with Tony. I don't think Tony was there. I think he was with Connor Murphy filming, but...
When I tell you that John Bravo is part of the cabal, and I show you this next piece of evidence, you are going to understand that this video is more damning than any video John Bravo has ever made about Wes Watson. John Bravo, you are a liar. You are a scummy journalist, and I caught you. I caught you using Photoshop. This is the Pattaya news outlet, right? Look down here at the bottom. TPN Media will provide more details as they are released by relevant agencies. One comment, huh? Well, where's the comment? Guess what? Guess what John Bravo tried to do? Tried to fool the masses. You go to the real article. It don't say that. It don't say there's no comments. It shows you who wrote the article. Adam Judd. They're all part of the cabal. And for anybody that wants to doubt my due diligence, it's very, very simple to see. This is what should give it away, guys. And I'm going to give it away for John next time he tries to fabricate a document. But do you see how he's trying to make it look like it came from Facebook, right? But he conveniently leaves that solid line across the middle that doesn't belong there. Okay, that's separating, it's separating two columns, right? Separating the one comment sort by. Those were just plugged in. And then you plug in the add a comment box at the bottom, right? But then when you go to the real article, you understand and you see that that's just the letterhead. That's just the top of Adam Judd's letterhead and synopsis. He just kept the line at the top. He blacked out the bold line at the top and then fabricated in between. He put where the bold line is, that's where he put the one comment and then the sort by, and then he separated it by Adam Judd's line, and then underneath that he put comment, try to make it look like it was coming from Facebook. John Bravo, I see right through you just like you see through Wes Watson. I've owned you since day one on this case, sir. You are implicated in the murder investigation and murder case of Lath, Leo, and longevity.
Of the deceased.
It's long live Leo,
the other
gang.
occupants of the home will be brought to the Pattaya police station for further interviews and discussion about the situation, which I believe that he lived in a home with Tony. I don't think Tony was there. I think he was with Connor Murphy filming, but I know that he shared a home with Tony. Mr. Algaz had been a regular YouTube contributor focused on fitness and health. He had 123,000 plus followers as of press time.
After finding John Bravo using janky Photoshop, this one comment, sort by oldest, where's the comment? Where's the comment if there's one comment? You know what I'm saying? John, I gotcha. This is better than any little Wes Watson you pulling paperwork. I got you lying. This is something that you didn't want to tell the masses that I brought to the masses, sir. I'm better at this than you. And let me show you that I'm better at this than you, because look at this. We go back up here and we see that in John Bravo's press release, it says a witness, Miss Achia Humera Ratanapan, okay, 25. She's the one that was Lace's friend that actually regurgitated the information, right? Okay, this is why Adam Judd and John Bravo are part of the cabal. I have physical evidence that they are. So check this out. This is the original article. We go back here. We go back to the article that Adam Judd, if you use the Wayback When machine, this article has been adjusted like 5 times. So Adam Judd went back in and said, a witness, Miss A, and Adam Judd protected the cabal again, and Tony Huge, name withheld at their request. No, it's not withheld at their request. She don't give a fuck because it's still out on the other news outlets. You did that on purpose. Told Pattaya police that other occupants of the home went to check on Mr. Algaz. Are you serious? So, do you see how he's trying to frame this, guys. It wasn't other occupants of the home. Do you see the framing? No, it was the owner of the home. It was the head of household is the one that found the body. So who's these other occupants? Adam Judd is trying to make it seem like it was other residents, and John Bravo, and there had been other narratives that it was the Thai girls. So it makes it seem like it was the Thai girls. No, it wasn't. It was Tony that unlocked the door. So that's the head of household. Adam Judd is lying. And John Bravo is protecting Adam Judd to protect the cabal. This is why I'm telling you, Adam Judd needs to be put in jail and John Bravo needs to be put behind bars. Because when I go to a real article that gives us the real juice, they said other occupants of the home. When we go to a article that actually has the information, we see that, oh, this is one key before we release the big information. This is one key that Adam Judd purposely left out of the article. Okay? Can you guys see it? He was lying face down with blood leaking from his nose and mouth and a bruise on his left eye. Now you ask, why would the bruise above the left eye, on his left eye, be left out of the Adam Judd and left out in the John Bravo? Well, let's take a look at each other. Let's look at ourselves in the mirror or stand next to your best friend. Look at yourself face to face, okay? And touch your left eye, okay? Now, look at the individual that's in front of you, okay? Which is Connor Murphy, okay? Let's think of the three-dimensional space now. Now we're in 4 dimensions, okay? What did Connor Murphy use for the crime that was committed in this murderous act? Yes, he used a 5-iron golf club, okay? And Connor Murphy is right-handed. So if I come down with a 5-iron to my left eye, how is that person going to hit me that's right in front of me? Yeah, they're going to strike me coming from their right hand, and they're going to hit me in my left eye. So, John Bravo, I don't want to hear all this, oh, Wes Watson, I pulled paperwork, and he's getting this seized and this seized. Motherfucker, I'm showing you what you're leaving out of articles on purpose because it implicates the murderers of this crime. Now, this is just off a side tangent, and I think this goes to show how powerful these energy systems are, because I'm actually reenacting using AI, an AI generative model, to show you what my mind is playing out, okay? And so I'm trying to walk AI through how to put this into action, and I might be using the wrong type of model, but I think that Lace energy is just a little bit stronger than Connor's. Because look, this was the first one. He actually blocks it. I mean, I couldn't get it right. Some of these are crazy. That one, Leo actually strong arms the club from Connor. Okay? This one was really weird. Yeah, this is so weird. Like, so weird. Another party involved. That one, like, it literally something, there's a power system at play here, and it's not letting it go through. That's the closest one, but it came out like an eye poke, and that's not where we want to be. And then I ended with this, and I think this is where we're going to end, where Leo's basically using his crazy aggressive stare, and Connor doesn't have the physical energy to follow through with that club head strike. I want to leave it with this energy because Lath is up there. His energy is permeating through me to finalize this video and put it out to the masses. We're not giving no shine and no clout to Connor Murphy. His clout is over. Okay, he did what he did. But as I start to peel back the onion, go down the rabbit hole deeper and deeper and deeper, I'm finding out John Bravo's using Photoshop, and I'm finding out more little anomalies and clues and just little things that really piss me off about this case. And I'm talking to individuals in the know, and I'm getting information on things that need to be airtight, but we want this to be behind us, not still, searching for what ifs. And so this is just kind of a video to let everybody know that we are not staying off the cabal's necks. Never. And we go down here, and in the real article, oh my God, there's a stray dog that just, look, there's a stray dog that just came on my property. Look at this. Damn, he almost came in. Hold on. 2 stray dogs. Ooh. See, you guys better protect, you dog owners, you better protect your fucking animals, because I'll come out with the Ruger. I really will. I'll come out with this Ruger and I'll dump. What do I, let's take out the pellet gun. Let's see. Hang on. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Fuck. Go. Uh-oh. You fucking dog owners need to understand that it's not a game out here. I've already picked the bullet out of a dog that I felt bad for.